Social media has indeed changed the way we live our lives, from becoming a major source of news and information to transforming our social interactions with our near and dear ones. Social media has indeed become indispensable in our lives. While social media has been a blessing in disguise, especially during this pandemic, the negative implications attached to its overuse as well as its misuse cannot be denied or ignored. Hello everyone, I am Cynthia Gomes and I am a counseling psychologist and family therapist. In today's video, I will be talking about the negative impact of social media. So let's begin.
Huh? Uh-huh. Ha 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 ha. Ooh-wee. Ooh. Hmm. Mhm. Oh.
This short clip narrated a very common yet a problematic implication of social media use. The clip depicts distinct types of behavior that are observed in terms of social media usage in the protagonist. The constant need for social approval, that is, uploading pictures or posts for likes and comments, and the need to be digitally connected 24/7. Although this may not be perceived as problematic in the first place, but it's a major concern when such behaviors begin to hamper our day-to-day functioning, just like the protagonist of the clip. It is evident from the clip that we saw earlier that social media has become more harmful or bad than being beneficial or good as it was intended to be. With the growing popularity of social media, it has become important for all of us to recognize the kind of impact it has on our lives. In the course of this video, we will try to understand how social media is affecting both our physical and psychological well-being, and what we all can do to limit and restrict the negative impact of social media upon our lives. Most of us are usually compelled to think that social media only affects our mental health. But it is an incorrect notion, as social media does serious damage to our physical health as well. Long and continuous use of social media is linked to several physical symptoms: unhealthy sleep patterns. Most individuals who are constantly glued to their screens find it difficult to sleep because the brain releases a hormone called melatonin that regulates our sleep cycle. But the light being emitted from the screen affects the production of this hormone such that the brain is fooled to think that the body isn't ready for sleep, or more like it's daytime, so there is no need for sleeping. Dry eyes and blurred vision, chronic back pain due to awkward body postures, wrist joint pain because of continuous use of mobile phones or laptops. This pain can also become severe if it develops into a very painful condition called carpal tunnel syndrome, where the median nerve in our wrist faces acute compression and pressure. Social media undoubtedly has more drastic impact on our psychological health that greatly affects our behavior, our interpersonal relationships, as well as our general perception about the world, as well as our own self. Excessive use of social media has been linked to have negative impact on several domains of our psychological well-being that I will be discussing in detail in the course of this video. In the short clip that we had seen at the beginning, we see the protagonist constantly trying to seek social approval through the likes and comments that he receives on his social media handle. This is what is meant by the like culture that is perpetuated by social media, where individuals seek approval from their social media acquaintances such that the number of likes obtained on a post or picture becomes a direct measure of how much an individual is worth or how much he or she is liked. This becomes problematic when the individual begins to weigh himself or herself in terms of these likes, such that less likes makes the individual feel less wanted and even worthless. Moreover, as indicated by several researchers, viewing pictures of others leads to a me versus you comparison, where the other person is assumed to be better, maybe due to the number of likes, the physical appearance, etc., that can also negatively impact the self-image of the individual. The picture on your screens right now is a very common scenario that we all witness in our day-to-day lives, and it is also possible that we witness this even in our own households. Social networking sites have changed the way we communicate and interact with others, both in the virtual as well as the real world. We are so bent on staying connected digitally that we displace face-to-face interaction and forget to live outside the internet and social media. Again, going back to the clip, which ends with a small yet strong message that sometimes, in order to reconnect, we need to disconnect from our devices. Cyberbullying is when someone bullies or harasses others on the internet or on other digital spaces, particularly on social media sites. These behaviors include posting rumors, threats, sexual remarks, a victim's personal information, or even hate speech against the victim. Bullying or harassment can be identified by repeated behavior and an intent to harm. Victims of cyberbullying may experience lower self-esteem, increased suicidal tendency, and a variety of negative emotional responses, including being scared, frustrated, angry, or even depressed. Social media addiction is a psychological or behavioral dependence that an individual shows for social media platforms. It is generally defined as the compulsive use of social media platforms that results in significant impairment in an individual's function in various life domains over a prolonged period. In simpler understanding, an individual who compulsively uses social media at the cost of fulfilling his daily responsibilities or pursuing other interests and without regard for the negative consequences is said to be suffering from social media addiction. An individual who is addicted to social media is unable to engage in his or her day-to-day work in a normal manner as they are preoccupied with what's going on their social media platforms, and the inability to go online may cause significant distress in them. Social media addiction is more harmful as it is directly linked to other significantly distressing psychological problems like social isolation, anxiety, depression, and so on. How to differentiate between normal and problematic use of social media? We can use the following checklist to see whether an individual's social media use is problematic or not. Number 1. Feeling anxious if unable to access social media. Number 2. Checking the device for notifications very often. Number 3. Checking the device for notifications is the first thing you do every morning. Number 4. Wanting more of virtual interaction with people rather than face-to-face interaction. Number 5. Constantly monitoring the number of likes or views on posts or pictures. Number 6. Constantly looking for an internet connection everywhere. Number 7. Your time on social media supersedes all other activities. Number 8. You experience frequent headaches, wrist pains, or blurry vision. Number 9. Your family or friends complain that you are constantly on your phone. If the answer to most of the statements is yes, then your social media use is problematic and nearing a state of dependency and addiction. Managing social media use of a compulsive user is often a challenging task, but it is not impossible. Certain strategies can be undertaken to reduce social media use. The very basic strategy that can be used is to get rid of notifications. We often tend to check notifications, but if we disable them, we can reduce the frequency of our checking the phone. Another strategy that can be used is digital detox, simply meaning that one refrains from using social media for a certain period of time. This time frame can be increased gradually as an individual is able to abstain from social media successfully for the given time span. Social media is a fun way to document and share your life, especially with friends or relatives that live far away. But just as with anything else in life, there is such a thing as too much. If you or your loved one is showing signs of problematic social media use, it is time to take some steps to cut back on the screen time. Remember, social media only creates an illusion of being connected, so disconnect from your devices and connect with your lives. God bless you all. Stay safe.